Is your academic freedom an illusion? What happens when AI-driven disinformation targets you for speaking out? We're diving into a disturbing case at Yale University, where a scholar was suspended after being smeared by an AI-powered outlet. This isn't just about one person. It's about the future of free speech in the age of artificial intelligence, and the chilling effect it can have on critical voices. Are universities truly bastions of open inquiry, or are they susceptible to manipulation and political pressure? The answer might shock you. Helyeh Doutaghi, an Iranian-born international law expert and deputy director of the Law and Political Economy Project at Yale, found herself in the crosshairs. Following an article in Jewish Onliner, an AI-driven outlet, she was placed on administrative leave within 24 hours. The article accused her of ties to Crackdown, a pro-Palestine group sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury. Doutaghi, who is also an associate research scholar at Yale Law School, was effectively barred from campus based on allegations from an AI source. The speed and severity of Yale's response raised serious questions about due process and academic freedom. Jewish Onliner, the source of the allegations, isn't your typical news outlet. It's an AI-powered bot network, exposed by Haaretz as having ties to Israeli military entities. This outlet labeled Doutaghi a terrorist for her criticism of the Israeli regime's actions in Gaza. The fact that Yale seemingly relied on AI-generated disinformation without conducting its own independent investigation is deeply troubling. It suggests a willingness to accept unsubstantiated claims at face value, especially when they target those who express dissenting views on sensitive geopolitical issues. The use of AI to generate and spread disinformation is a growing concern. We've seen how deepfakes and AI-generated articles can be used to manipulate public opinion and silence dissenting voices. In this case, the AI outlet smear campaign had immediate and tangible consequences for Doutaghi, leading to her suspension and creating a climate of fear for other scholars who might be critical of Israeli policies. The incident highlights the urgent need for greater scrutiny and regulation of AI-generated content, especially in the context of political discourse. Yale's response to the allegations against Doutaghi is particularly concerning. According to Doutaghi, she was interrogated under conditions she described as a predetermined guilty verdict. She was also denied religious accommodations during Ramadan and access to campus. Doutaghi condemned the university's actions as retaliation against Palestinian solidarity and a blatant act of Zionist McCarthyism. These are strong accusations that paint a picture of a university prioritizing political expediency over due process and academic freedom. The university's silence in the face of these accusations is deafening. Adding another layer of complexity, Yale's appointment of David Ring from Wigan and Dana for Doutaghi's interrogation raises serious questions about potential conflicts of interest. Ring, a State Department appointee and advocate for defense contractors like Lockheed Martin, profits from F-35 jets used by the Israeli regime in Gaza. Doutaghi pointed out Yale's financial ties to these firms, suggesting that the university prioritized Zionist donors over fairness. This raises the specter of financial influence shaping university policy and compromising academic integrity. Doutaghi's lawyer, Eric Lee, accused Yale of bending the knee to Trump's dictatorship, linking her suspension to the administration's catch and revoke policy. This initiative, led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, uses AI to revoke visas of international students accused of supporting Palestinian rights. This policy ensnared Mahmoud Khalil, a green card-holding Columbia graduate detained by ICE for leading pro-Gaza protests. The catch and revoke policy represents a dangerous expansion of government power, using AI to target individuals based on their political beliefs. The U.S. government's selective enforcement of free speech is striking. While platforms like Jewish Onliner are allowed to spread AI-generated disinformation unchecked, Iranian and Palestinian advocates face censorship, deportation, and even death threats for expressing their ideas. The Trump administration's designation of 60 universities under investigation for anti-Semitism, a pretext to criminalize pro-Palestine speech, highlights this hypocrisy. This isn't about protecting Jewish students. It's about silencing criticism of Israeli policies. Doutaghi warned that Zionist McCarthyism treats solidarity with Palestine as a crime, drawing parallels to Cold War purges in the U.S. Khalil's detention, she noted, exemplifies the criminalization of dissent. This is not about national security. It's about silencing resistance to U.S. imperialism and Zionist settler colonialism. This is a powerful statement that challenges the dominant narrative and exposes the underlying motivations behind the crackdown on pro-Palestine voices. This case has galvanized demands to defend academic freedom and Palestinian rights. It's a reminder that the fight for free speech is never truly won and that we must remain vigilant against attempts to silence dissenting voices. The use of AI to generate and amplify disinformation poses a new and significant threat to academic freedom and open inquiry. It's crucial that universities resist pressure to suppress controversial viewpoints and uphold the principles of due process and academic integrity. So, what does this mean for the future? Are we entering an era where AI-powered smear campaigns can effectively silence dissenting voices on college campuses? Will universities continue to prioritize political expediency over academic freedom? The answers to these questions will depend on our willingness to challenge these trends and defend the principles of free speech and open inquiry. The case of Helyeh Doutaghi is a stark warning, but it's also an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to these fundamental values. We need to protect academic freedom at all costs. We need to safeguard our right to dissent, and we need to be wary of the insidious power of AI-driven disinformation. Let's dig deeper. The AI behind Jewish Onliner, while not explicitly coded with bias, might be exhibiting what we call emergent bias. This happens when an AI, trained on biased data, unintentionally amplifies those biases in its output. Think about it. If the AI is primarily fed data that frames pro-Palestine activism as inherently dangerous or anti-Semitic, it will naturally generate content reflecting that viewpoint. This isn't necessarily a conscious decision on the part of the developers. It's a reflection of the data the AI is trained on. This highlights the importance of addressing algorithmic bias in AI development, especially when these technologies are used in sensitive areas like news and political commentary. We also need to examine the black box nature of some AI systems. Many AI algorithms are so complex that even their creators don't fully understand how they arrive at their conclusions. This lack of transparency makes it difficult to identify and correct biases, potentially leading to unfair and discriminatory outcomes, as we see in this Yale case. Remember the paper Algorithmic Justice, Exposing Systems of Bias by Cathy O'Neill? It's more relevant than ever. The AI behind Jewish Onliner likely uses natural language processing, or NLP, to generate its articles. NLP allows computers to understand and process human language. However, NLP models can be easily manipulated to generate biased or misleading content. For example, an NLP model could be trained to associate certain keywords, like Palestine or Gaza, with negative terms like terrorism or violence. This association could then be used to automatically generate articles that demonize pro-Palestine activism. The technical term here is sentiment analysis, and when it's weaponized, it's a potent tool for spreading disinformation. We've seen this happen with other NLP-powered bots that spread misinformation about elections and public health crises. The key takeaway is that NLP, while a powerful technology, can be easily abused to manipulate public opinion. The sophistication of NLP is increasing rapidly, making it harder to detect AI-generated disinformation. This is an arms race, and we need to develop better detection methods to counter these threats. The AI also utilizes machine learning, ML, to improve its ability to generate convincing and persuasive content. ML algorithms learn from data, allowing the AI to adapt and refine its output over time. For example, the AI could analyze the reactions of readers to its articles and use this information to generate more engaging and shareable content. This feedback loop allows the AI to become increasingly effective at spreading its message, even if that message is based on disinformation. The AI is constantly learning and adapting, making it harder to combat its influence. The ability of machine learning to personalize content also makes it a powerful tool for manipulating individuals' beliefs and behaviors. The personalization creates echo chambers, reinforcing existing biases and making people less likely to consider alternative viewpoints. This is a serious threat to informed public discourse. Doutaghi is fighting back. Her lawyer, Helyeh, is challenging Yale's actions and demanding her reinstatement. But this isn't just about one person's job. It's about setting a precedent. If Yale gets away with this, other universities might be emboldened to silence dissenting voices under the guise of combating anti-Semitism or protecting their reputations. The legal battle will likely focus on whether Yale violated Doutaghi's due process rights and whether the university's actions were motivated by political considerations. The outcome of this case could have significant implications for academic freedom and the rights of scholars to express their views on controversial issues. Social media played a crucial role in amplifying the AI-generated smear campaign against Doutaghi. The article in Jewish Onliner was quickly shared and disseminated across various social media platforms, reaching a wide audience and generating a wave of online harassment and death threats. This highlights the power of social media to spread disinformation and silence dissenting voices. Social media companies have a responsibility to combat the spread of AI-generated disinformation and protect individuals from online harassment. However, their efforts have often been insufficient, allowing these campaigns to flourish and have real-world consequences. This case demands our attention. It's a wake-up call. We need to support Helyeh Doutaghi in her fight for justice. We need to demand transparency and accountability from Yale University. And we need to push for greater regulation of AI-generated content to prevent the spread of disinformation. But more importantly, we need to be critical thinkers. We need to question the information we consume, especially online. We need to be aware of the potential for AI to be used to manipulate our beliefs and behaviors. And we need to stand up for free speech and academic freedom, even when it's difficult. This is not just about one person or one university. It's about the future of democracy. So what do you think? Is Yale right to suspend Doutaghi? Is AI a threat to free speech? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth analysis of the intersection of AI and society. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and stay engaged.